Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. So in the telling of my story, you have Diana Ross, who's a young 14-year-old girl, and she's going to abandon her baby to the Jackson family. And so one of these things about like being a baby, there's things that's like, well, you can't have the baby tell you actually what was going on, but a baby is in the mother, right? So like in the baby's subconscious, the baby would know like what the mother smells like. There's a connection where like when the baby then is being nurtured by his mother, the baby would have a familiarity. It's a tricky word. So but there would be something familiar there that the baby would connect to, and then that's why if the baby's being breastfed by the mother, it would put the baby at calm. There would be a calming effect and stuff, right? Because it's not only is the baby getting fed, it's the baby can sense that this is a person like with their senses. And he would be able to, there'd be a sense of smell. There'd be something there that the baby would be able to connect to understand that this is good, that this is safe. This is a safe place for me, right? And those are things that take place in the subconscious. And so like in the gambling world, there's a thing called tails. And so like if you watch poker players, they study people. Playing the cards and understanding how odds work and percentages, that's just one part of it. But the really, really good people, what they do is they read the person, and they can see things that normal people don't see. And what they do is they call those tails, okay? And so I'm going to show you right here, Michael Jackson's got a tail. And you'll see that what's the tail related to is when he says the word orphan. And when he says it, he says, I hate the word orphanage. He says, I hate it. And then you'll see he fiddles with the back of his hair and shit, right? What that is a subconscious. It's in his subconscious. It's a tail. As a poker player, you would read that and you would identify it as he's got a tail. You know, there's something weird when he said orphanage, and he says, I hate it. So he uses a very serious word. I hate the word orphanage. That's what he says. I hate the word orphanage. So listen to this part right here and watch. This is a tail. And the tail's there, it's a tick. It's an uncontrollable tick he has because it goes back all the way into his subconscious from the moment where he was given away and abandoned as a baby and given to the Jackson family. And this is, that's what I'm saying, this is a subconscious tail, which means it's still affecting him to this day. Up until this point, he's still got that thing in his subconscious. And what's it related to? Orphanages. Just like what I keep saying.
It will be the first Michael Jackson hospital, and we would like to make these throughout the world. That is our goal and our mission. And I hate using the word orphanage, but pretty much a housing of unity to bring together, people that are in need.
Okay, see how he's so calm? The whole time, he's always so calm, just sitting there calm and relaxed. As soon as he brings up the word orphanage, he's got a tick. He's got a tail, and he reaches back to his neck and plays with his hair, and he tells you, I hate using the word orphanage. And it's because he was abandoned as a baby. He's a form of an orphan. And because of that, it's created a subconscious tail, a tick in him. And he tells you, I hate this word. It's right there, clear as day, when you actually understand the real story that Michael Jackson was abandoned as a baby. Then what happens when he speaks about it? Oh, guess what? He's got a tick. He's got a subconscious tail. That's what's happening right there. This is what this is, and this is what I say. Every time I watch this stuff, now, when he's talking and he's all calm, he can talk and he can lie to people and paint descriptions of all the things about what he wants to do. But when he talks about that, there's a subconscious tick in him. It's what's known as a tail. He can't control that because it's so ingrained deep into his subconscious. He's got real pain. And it shows, and that's what he says. Oh, I hate the word orphanage. Because he's got pain in his subconscious because he is a fucking orphan. And why? And it's like, I don't have to just say it like that. Neverland Ranch with the child, right? And if you look up here, I don't know if I can zoom in close enough. Michael Jackson. Okay, he's got a sign above the Neverland Ranch that says, Michael Jackson Neverland. Okay? Michael Jackson Neverland. So he's totally connecting himself to Neverland Michael Jackson Neverland. And then, so Neverland is something from the story of Peter Pan. Now, in the Peter Pan, like, I'm not an expert in freaking Peter Pan folklore and stuff, right? And there's like different books, and you're gonna find different things. But there is a thing about the children. There's these children that are in some form of an orphanage, okay? And so here, there's one little thing where it explains a little bit here on this one. It says in the Peter Pan, it says, in the Peter and the Starcatcher series, an early group of lost boys includes boys who Peter knew from St. Norbert's Orphanage. Okay, so there's the word directly connected to Peter Pan. That's what's going on in Orphanage. But he says there's more to it here. It says, who returned to England with the heroine's family at the end of the prequels. This description does not concord with the canon backstory for the Lost Boys, who are not orphaned, but lost as babies. Okay? But lost as babies. But now you can see how Michael would be connecting to that. Lost as a baby. Okay? And because they're lost, they're not orphans or lost as babies, he's connecting to that in some way. That's what he's connecting to here. That's what he's talking about. And because of that, when he brings it up in this, it gives him, there's a tick. Like I said, it's a tell. It's an uncontrollable tell in his subconscious, because that's what he relates to.
The first Michael Jackson hospital, and we would like to make these throughout the world. That is our goal and our mission. And I hate using the word orphanage, but pretty much a housing of unity to bring together, people that are in need.
A housing, a unity to bring together of people that are in need. And then he directly relates that to his house, the Michael Jackson Neverland Ranch. So why is his house then this unity of bringing together people that are in need? And he says, I don't want to call it an orphanage. I hate the word orphanage, right? But what has he done to his own personal house? What did he branded it big, Neverland. Michael Jackson, Neverland. He branded the same branding from the story of the Peter Pan story about orphan children and kids that are freaking lost babies. He put that brand on his home. And he's telling you it's trying to bring together these children that are in need. He's identifying himself as this orphan baby, these lost, abandoned children. That's how he identifies himself. And I don't have to freaking say that he's doing it, because he fucking did it. And then when you hear him talking about orphanages, what does he do? He's got an uncontrollable tick, a tail, and he says the word hate. I hate the word orphanage. It's like, people, I can't make this fucking shit up. This shit is fucking happening, and the only way it could be occurring like this in the vast amount of abundance evidence I'm keep showing you to this stuff is that my story is obviously fucking true. When are you fucking people gonna stop fucking being slaves? You people are slaves to the media. There's a big difference between being a Michael Jackson fan and being some fucking stupid slave to the media hype. That's the hype. You guys who are claiming to be Michael Jackson fans, you're slaves to the fucking hype. You're not a Michael Jackson fan. You're a fan of this image that the media portrays and all that shit. That's all bullshit for the stupid people, because you're stupid. That's the whole fucking thing. Like me as an adult, I go around and say, what makes me an intelligent person? What makes me this intelligent person is because I understand that I'm stupid. That I understand that in the understanding of the things I understand, that doesn't mean now I know everything. It means I've experienced a piece of that and I have a form of an understanding, but there's always much more to be learned. Because at the core, I'm a human being, which means that my whole core of what I am is stupid. I'm only going to live for maybe 100 years. If you believe in God, how old is God? 20 billion years? 50 billion years? How do we know? How could you even... That's the thing about just being a human being. If you believe in God, then you understand God is billions and billions and billions of years old. You're a human, which means you're only going to live for maybe 100 years. How can you dare to think that you can acquire the knowledge of a fucking entity like God that's been alive for billions of years in your meager little existence of 100 years? That's why at the core of my understanding of who I am is that, well, I'm a human being. That means at my core I'm stupid, because I never am going to have the experience of understanding what it's like to be a life form that's been alive like God for billions of years. That's why I tell people too, you don't believe in God. You think you're fucking smart. You're afraid to admit that you're fucking stupid. You don't even know who the fuck you are. Just like Michael Jackson was totally fucking lost, having to deal with all this fucking shit. And he's got all the fans saying all this stupid shit, when in reality, look at what he's fucking telling you. He's a fucking orphan. He was abandoned as a fucking child. He's got problems in his fucking family. He put it on his fucking mythological fucking house in this world that he created to live in the Michael Jackson's Neverland fucking Valley Ranch and shit. It's fucking clearly, he did that. That's not a fucking accident. It's not made to fucking abuse fucking children. It's made to fucking soothe his fucking damaged soul from being given away as a fucking baby.